Structure having been constructed at the end of the 1990s. Appearing right in front of us now is the 1927 no, sorry, I have to correct that. Appearing right in front of us now is the court and provincial government building for the Düsseldorf region, and we'll be driving on a bit towards the city center, located south of us, and we are driving south. However, first thing which is going to appear is the Museum Ehrenhof, having been built in 1927. Here is the first part of that ensemble, the Rheinterrassen restaurant, used for big functions and festivities these days. On the left-hand side you see the Museum Ehrenhof, and it was originally built in 1927 for a crafts and art exhibition. Nowadays it's been renovated thoroughly and still houses art exhibitions. At the far end you see the former planetarium of Düsseldorf, now seat of the Düsseldorf Symphonic Orchestra. Just some more impressions of the museum before we get back into the car. Here we go, we are just driving on Cäcilienallee and past the planetarium, which we have just seen also on tape. And in front of us, crossing us, is the River Rhine bridge called the Oberkassler Brücke, being the most central bridge, which has been replaced in 1974, having been the oldest bridge before, but heavily destroyed by the war. In front of us the old downtown district, also having been destroyed but partly reconstructed, and in modern structures also, but we are not able to go there by car, so we dive down into the tunnel and we'll be diving up again close to the TV tower, which we have already mentioned, and about 3 kilometers south of where we have been when we entered the tunnel. Next thing we're going to see is the Düsseldorf Medienhafen. The Medienhafen has been constructed since the mid-90s, and nowadays is some of the seat of the and site of some of the most iconic buildings of Düsseldorf modern architecture. First, though, the WDR, Westdeutscher Rundfunk, public state broadcaster here in Germany, and having one of its regional studios in Düsseldorf, which also happens to be the provincial capital. Next thing appearing is going to be an office building by Frank Gehry, famous architect from the United States, who has built a complex these days, seat of a number of renowned advertisement agencies chiefly. And we're going to enter the Medienhafen. Literal translation is media harbor or media port. None of which is literally true, because nowadays, as you could guess, it is seat to a lot of law firms and also business consulting firms selling expensive good luck cookies to a bit cowardly corporate bosses. We enter Kaistraße, and this consists partly of renovated storage buildings, and Le Grand Bateau, an office building appearing left. In front of us, two ladies tired of life. Le Grand Bateau has been constructed newly. On the right hand side you can see some of the historical architecture. Nowadays this quarter of town also is a good alternative to Düsseldorf downtown, which is more sort of the louder and not so expensive culture of entertainment, and this one is a bit more the up-class quarter of town, where you can hang out and go to expensive discotheques, one of which is passing on the right-hand side, the so-called MK2, and in the building block just right of us now we find the biggest discotheque of Düsseldorf, the 3001. We'll continue, and we are just about to kilometers south of the center. On the left hand side you see the biggest cinema of Düsseldorf, pretty modern architecture as well, pretty enjoyable as well. But as we are not very much further than 2 kilometers south of the absolute center, we already enter a pretty rural area, which is pretty unique, that you have farming land so close to the center of town. We're just crossing under the most important east-west connection line for regional trains, and right in front of us you see farmland. Not only, because the next thing which is going to appear is the court building, a high security court building, to try the top most important and dangerous terrorists, with its own helicopter landing place, which you might have marked in red and white. Also pretty handy close to that is the state police, the Verfassungsschutz. Literally translated, that means constitutional protection police. And very important feature here, this is the fitness studio of your host on this tour. Close to that, on the left hand side, we see what is probably Germany's biggest car wash, so Düsseldorfers are pretty clean peoples. Not very handy to be seen because it's just fading out to the left of this picture. Another futuristic tram crossing our way here on the left hand side, and we'll continue to drive alongside the farmland. Now we enter a good old German Autobahn, and we do that for a particular reason, because we are going to look at the last side of this tour, which is going to be Fleer Bridge, or Fleer Bridge actually. And Fleer Bridge is pretty special in that, apart from the typical triangular suspension system with steel ropes, you have an A-shaped pillar crossing the driving lanes of the Autobahn, which makes for a pretty impressive and also aesthetical sight. So let's enjoy that in a few moments. And at the left hand top side you can see a white spot, which is the German moon. We've got pretty nice weather coinciding with the beginning of the World Championships now, so that's a good news. It's been pretty cold for a while now, and winter has been unusually long, actually just toggling over within a few hours and days into summer. But let's enjoy some high-speed driving on the German Autobahn now. And right in front of us is the Fleer Bridge. That bridge is located 6 kilometers south of the center and probably 10 to 12 kilometers south to the bridge by which we entered Düsseldorf. We are crossing the river Rhine now, driving towards the west again. So we are exiting the city to the west, crossing the river Rhine just under us now. And well, I'm afraid that brings our little tour close to an end. Hope you have enjoyed the sights and have seen the quintessential and from my viewpoint most beautiful parts of Düsseldorf. Lean back, listen a bit more to the music, and I hope to see you soon with my next travel log. It's been enjoyable to have you on board, and see you soon. Bye bye.